Aloha from Hawaii. I'm Captain Glenn Martinez, and I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Gary Stice and Apollonia Ohana Foundation. And this is an introduction to their flood and drain aquaponics system. It's located in Wai'ohinu Aquaponics in Nu'ulehu, Big Island, Hawaii. Basically, it's on South Point if you look on the Big Island on a map, and you'll see it there. Look forward to the visit. We're going to give you a quick tour of a 3-bed system. Well, good evening. We're having a very peaceful evening here at South Point, Big Island. I'm up here in the Wai'ohinu Foundation. This is the Gary and Apollonia Stice Ohana Foundation, and this is their aquaponics system. And these are their fish. Yeah. And this is a 1,200-gallon fish tank here. And you see the cover we made. And just a jump skirt we put on here so they can't jump out. Okay? They get a little active sometimes. A sunshade here to protect us when it's really brutal out here. We're wintertime right now, but as I'm standing here right now, it's about 70 degrees. And we're in February, so you cannot complain, huh? So, this is my friendly little cat here. Just kind of adopted me. This is our watercress bed. This bed is filling up all the time. And that, it fills full of water. And you see the water coming down there to the float bed there. That water goes in all the time and comes out the other end. And we come along here. This bed floods up. You can see the rock is moist. This fills up about, I believe it's every 8 minutes or so. So it'll fill up and come here, and then she'll flush. This float bed, that's coming in the other end down there, if you can see all the way down there, comes in, and so it's always overflowing here. Now, this bed, it goes down to those 7 row float beds there. Float beds means they fill up all the time and then overflow and come back to a sump tank, which is over here. This bed is a bit unique. This is a watercress bed, and this bed fills up and drains, okay? If you want to see how often, we set this to 0 at about 8 o'clock this morning. So this one has run 52 times already today. Can you see that okay? Right? So it has a little float switch in there. Every time that goes up and down, it counts, okay? So this bed fills up and drains, and that's what keeps the water clean. That's what turns all the fish ammonia into nitrites and then nitrates, okay? Now the 3-inch pipe you see here, that's the drain going down. And the 1-inch pipe, that's the tattletale pipe for the siphon. Now if I come on down here, we'll see the siphon. And this is our invention. We came up with this design at Wai'ohinu at Olamana Gardens. My name is Captain Glenn Martinez, and this is kind of unique. This is a one-of-a-kind here. That bed there, if you look uphill, if you let your eyes go level, this level here sets a maximum level of water in that bed up there, the second bed. When the water gets that high, it's going to overflow and come down here, okay? Now, when that happens, it's going to create the siphon. The siphon, as you see, it starts at this level here, and it will drain down. You see it says sign there, it says air brake. And that air brake is that piece of pipe up there at the top goes up, goes over, comes down, and turns into 2-inch, and the 2-inch is into 3-inch. And this 3-inch is hooked to that 1-inch pipe you see there at the bottom. And that 1-inch pipe goes to the bottom of that float bed. And it always, water seeks its own level, so the water in there will always be in here, the same old, same old. So when the water gets down to the air brake level there, it's labeled there, when it gets right about here, that's going to let air in, and that air will go up and over, and it will stop the siphon. Now we're coming up, now it's just starting to trickle over, and it's going to have another flush here in a few minutes, okay? Pretty cool stuff if you think about it, okay? Now this one over here, this is an overflow, okay? The overflow, that's those beds, that's the water coming back all the time. Now you see this one over here is pumping out, totally separate. from the water from the fish tank coming down. This is a compost tea maker. And what this one is doing, we made 50 gallons of tea, and you see it's almost empty. It's going down to 0. And when it gets down, and this is an airlift. This is also an Olomouc Gardens design. I did this for Dr. Gary Stice and his wife Apollonia. And you see that it pumps up. So it can pump that drum totally dry. And how does that work? Well, this is a little 25-watt pump. The air comes down here. If we turn it this way, it makes tea, compost tea. It goes up and goes down. And it does that every 4 or 5 minutes. And inside here, we put in worm castings or compost or fertilizer that you want to mix with the water. Now, in the afternoon, we come out here, we close this one, and we open this one, and we pump it out. And it'll pump this thing down completely dry. Okay? Pretty unique. There are no moving parts in this, okay? Right? Just a little 25-watt pump. So even if it empties, it'll just sit here and idle till tomorrow morning. That's it. Right? So this one is always filling up, and it's always overflowing. It overflows through a standpipe. That's the standpipe down inside there. You see that pipe there? That's a standpipe. This pipe keeps everything that's floating from going down. See it go down? Aha! Right? And that'll grow. Now this other system, these three, those are a totally separate system. That goes to that fish tank down there, and it has its own siphons. So it's a pretty cool system. You have 2 completely different systems here. Now, all of these systems, both systems, they come down here. We're getting ready to add a few more beds down here. You're ready to set these up. So you see this trellis? We're going to put plants, and the plants will go up and grow on there. Yeah? Right? Now see how these beds are flooded? Pretty unique. These beds are going to flood up. They flood about every 10 minutes or so. They're just about ready to trip. So when we come down here, we're going to see this siphon run. This is a totally separate system than the one up on the hill, okay? Oh, by the way, see the one up on the hill? It's running now. So we'll come over here and take a look. This siphon here is running, and it's coming down, and it just broke, okay? So when it breaks, it drained all that water out of that watercress tray up there, okay? And we're full here. So pretty cool system. Now we were talking about this taro here. It was flooded. See the water there? That's flooded up, right? Well, down here, the siphon should be going off any minute now. And here we go. What timing? That's the overflow on the top from row number 2. The one underneath, that's row number 1, right up there. And this is the taro getting ready to go off. This is going to be cool. Now see all the bubbles? This is the height here, right where the bend is. That set the maximum level in that tray over there. We saw it flooded. So I knew it was getting ready to go off, okay? I'm going to close this one now. If I leave that open, it would stay flooded, okay? I could do that if I had to like chase out ants for that. If I close that, then the siphon will trigger on within seconds, okay? And when that triggers on, both of these are running, both of them are pulling about 3,000 gallons an hour. That up there is only 950 gallons an hour. That's the row number 2. It's just overflowing. If you want to see something cool, we just saw the taro was flooded. We'll take a walk back up here. And you'll see the taro. That water is going to be headed down here very rapidly. And we're going to see this water heading down. And here's our count. Uh-oh. So as it goes down, we should see that water draining out pretty doggone fast. We are chock full, okay? And you'll see the tide receding. So you take a flooded bed like that, if you watch there, you'll watch that water just disappear. See it going right down? So we literally can chase the water down. You dig a hole there, and you watch that water's going out. Now there's 7 trays, 120 gallons each, and that water's draining out very, very rapidly out the bottom. And so you'll see it's just melting away. So all these beds will be dry in about 2 minutes. So they fill up, then they drain. They fill up, and then they drain. And that's what keeps the fish healthy. Okay? Okay. Now I set this down to 0, and you're going to see here, as it goes down, count to 1. There, we just got a flush, okay? I set that one to 0, cut. Now this is a new thing we did today. This is our new portable greenhouse. And this folds up, these legs fold down. So if I pick this up, like this, the legs fold down and hold it up. How cool is that, huh? And I can work on it. Got one on each side, like that. And now the gardener can do that. So hopefully the gardeners are going to like this portable greenhouse. Don Renee, did you see this one?
What?
The portable greenhouse?
Oh, cool.
Okay. So you can do either side, service it, and then put it down. You don't have to remove it totally. Yeah. So hopefully keep the bugs out and give the starter plants a little bit of shade. Some lemongrass has gone dormant now. We're in the dead of winter, 70 degrees or so. But it's going to be quite nice. It's coming along quite handily. These are the old barrel siphons. We use the barrel siphons now as tea makers. And the tea makers, if you come here, you have a bucket like this. I can put whatever I want to put in there, and I'll show you how this works. See that sack hanging down? That's full of oyster shells. When it comes down here like this, watch this, it will invert like this, and it will stir up all the oyster shells and tumble them. And then when it comes up, they will all hang down. So this water goes up and down every 10 minutes. So this inverts like this. I'm just doing it rapidly for you so you see. And that's the benefit of having an air stone at the bottom bubbling away. It's a pretty cool action. Yeah? And all you do is take and slip a board through here, and bingo, got it done. So it's a pretty simple operation. And what I can do is have oyster shells here, as you see, and that corrects the pH. If the pH gets acidic, goes below 7.0, the oyster shells will dissolve it and bring it right back up. So our gardener, Don Renee, she does it. This is monitors that. This is an overflow. You see how that's overflowing? This pipe here, the height of that pipe, you see here, the height of the water, that sets a height for the water in these trays. So they're constant height. Yeah. So both siphons are silent now, and that one's the overflow. But it's a pretty cool stuff that you do to it. So imagine flooding 7 120-gallon trays every 10 minutes and draining them, and you have no moving parts. The only thing moving is one water pump. We have an expression, one country, one God, one pump. But you see how we drained all the water out of there? Okay, all the way down. There's a false bottom in here. There's a screen on the bottom, and it holds the rock up. There's about a 3-inch gap, but the water's always coming, but it comes in at the rate of 920 gallons an hour. and we take it out at 3,000. So we win the race. Anyway, that's a brief overview. Hope you enjoyed this. This is the Gary and Apollonia Ohana Foundation. We're located in town. It's spelled N-U-U-A-L-E-H-U, Hawaii. Well, I've been happy to be your narrator. I'm Captain Glenn Martinez of Wai'ohinu Gardens, and I'd like to thank the Dr. Gary and Apollonia South Ohana Foundation for sponsoring these videos and sponsoring this whole garden and 10-acre complex. It's been my pleasure to help engineer and design this system, and I think you'll find it enjoyable. We're going to do a series of videos, and we're going to see if we can't educate the world on aquaponics.